We're back. Yo, we just have some awesome bonus content with Jass Beats. And he's actually a second generation luchador to an extent because his uncle, his uncle was a luchador. And he is actually going to tell us about their meeting in 2006. So, Yas, take it away, my man.
So yeah, it all started. My mom made a phone call to her house to call my grandma at the time. My grandma passed away a few years ago. God rest her soul. So my mom made a phone call to her house. I recall that day like it was yesterday. My mom made a phone call that day, and my my uncle's brother was in town with his mom. Not my uncle the wrestler, but my uncle's brother was in town with his mom, and he talked to my mom on the phone, and they were like, "I haven't seen you in so long," and they exchanged numbers. We exchanged information. My mom, I don't know how she did it. She called them, and then she set it up to meet with him like in 2006, and it was one of the best experiences. That I think that's when I became more drawn to wrestling when I met my uncle Tomix Jr.
That's tremendous. And I mean, as somebody who watched it yourself, right? Like, did did you feel like, man, I've got a whole nother appreciation for it because I essentially have somebody in my bloodline that competes as well.
Yeah, I got more like this is what a wrestler has to do every day to stay on top. This is the training that they have to do every day to be the best. And to mention the names that because he's also he trains up and coming students. So in his line, I think he has had uh, Mini Charlie Manson, who goes by Mini
Yeah.
Charlie Manson, who goes by the name now Tiago or something. And then yeah, so my uncle was his trainer actually.
Wow. And again, when you're talking about lucha libre, we can't you can't forget about the minis, right?
Yeah,
The minis and exoticos are
yeah,
something that, I mean, of course, American style pro wrestling had a bit of, mini wrestlers, right? But um, those are things that are uniquely kind of suited to lucha libre in the minis and the exoticos. And I mean, mini Charlie Manson was one of the biggest, along with oh gosh, why am I blanking on his name? He's the one in all white. God, well,
Mascarita Sagrada.
yes, Mascarita Sagrada. Yes, exactly. You know, Mini Charlie Manson and Mascarita Sagrada were two of the biggest stars in not just you know like mini lucha libre, but I mean literally in lucha libre as a whole.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a life experience, and then he told me stories that things that he would do with my mom when he would take her to the arenas and things like that. You know, and yeah, so all his stories. My mom would tell me these stories when I was younger, but when you're young, you're like, is it true? Is it not true? But when in 2006, I think it was a summer that changed my life because I got to see my uncle, meet him, talk to him, you know, you know,
And I mean, being able to meet him, and basically have a feast, for all of the stories that you had been told by your mom coming up. Like, what was that feeling like?
it was the most beautiful feeling, dude. It was like, what the heck have I been missing for the whole entire period of my life? I was like, what is this? Um, I became more of a fan of wrestling because of him.
Man, I could only imagine. I could only imagine. That's a really cool deal. Now, what is the state of your uncle, your Theo, today?
I haven't spoke to him in months, but I don't know if he's still active. I don't know. You know, I don't even know if he's in social media, but I haven't talked to him in months. I mean, because due to this whole COVID, you lose contact throughout the years. But last time I talked to him, yeah, he told me that he kind of wrestles occasionally in Mexico.
I think it's again, it's tremendous, and especially you yourself donning a mask. I think it's pretty apropos. I think it's pretty fitting, that you have it in your bloodline.
It is. It's pretty. It's a. I think it's a responsibility to a certain extent, even though I cannot wrestle myself. But I think I have the responsibility to defend these wrestlers because a lot of people have a tendency, saying wrestling is fake. But my question to those people are like, have you ever been inside of a ring? Have you ever been inside of the ring? Have you ever uh, thrown yourself in the ring? Have you ever thrown yourself against the ropes? Have you ever done that? To come and say, not to bash in any sports or anything like that, but you cannot play wrestling.
No, no, it's not a game, not a game at all. So kids, don't try this at home. If you want to do this, for proper training always. But dude, I'm just saying. I mean, this is a deep cut. Uh, any last words for the people?
Just subscribe to my channel, and there's some stuff coming. That's for sure. And thank you to Adam Woods for having me on. With the extra content. And
Oh
hopefully,
no! Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on. You're incredible. So I can't wait to see what you produce in all of your endeavors. But I thought that the story of your uncle was pretty cool. So we had to jump back on. But thank you guys for joining us yet again. And if you haven't already done so,
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods YouTube.